Welcome back to All Things Plastics. Today's guest is someone you've likely seen go viral for his desserts. But today we're diving deeper. Meet Felipe, the baker and owner of Felipe's Creations in Houston, Texas. Felipe is only 25 and he's getting honest about why he chose to get 360 lipo and a BBL and what healing actually felt like behind the scenes and how he handled a post-op infection after his drains were removed. Because glow-ups aren't always pretty. We're getting real about lipo, BBL, gynecomastia surgery, recovery that doesn't make it to Instagram, complications, and confidence from a male perspective that rarely gets the mic. This episode breaks stereotypes, challenges the idea that plastic surgery has a look or a gender, and proves that self-investment is personal and powerful. Welcome, Felipe, to the podcast.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, let's start from the beginning. Where were you born and raised?
So I was born in Mexico and I was raised in Houston, Texas. I've been here pretty much my entire life. It's been a whole entire journey, but here I am now. So yeah.
Yes. And did you always know baking would be part of your life, or did that kind of come later?
That was honestly something that I never thought I was going to be a part of. Genuinely, it was something that I discovered more towards like my middle school years and so, but not since I was little. It never even crossed my mind that I was going to become this whole baker and start making cakes and cookies and everything.
Do your parents or grandparents, anyone bake or own a shop or anything? Or you were like, all right, we going to do this?
Nobody, literally nobody bakes. Nobody has a bakery. Nobody has any knowledge in baking. And it just pretty much started one day. My mom would make us cakes, right? She would make us bake some boxes, but it wasn't like no bakery, not to sell. It was just for the family. And it was around the age of like 10, when I was around 10 years old. She stopped, right? She was like, that's too much of a mess. I'm not going to do that. We're good, right? So obviously me being, a big bag, I was like, hello. I mean, like, why are you not making us cakes? So I started making them from, the little boxes, and one thing led to the other. And I fell in love with it. I started watching a lot of videos. I started getting a lot of ideas and just watching shows, Cake Boss and all of that.
Yes, Cake Boss back in the day, honey.
Yes. And I got really inspired by that. And it just, I don't know, it motivated me. It got me excited. And that's basically how it started.
And at what age, you said 10 years old, you started like baking and doing interest. At what age did you kind of realize like this could turn into something more than just a hobby?
So I got into baking when I was like around 11 years old. That's when I kind of got into it, right? And then I started doing that for like a year, 2 years approximately. At the age of 13, I was already making cakes, and I was like, I can probably make a little money from this, right?
Holy shit, 13.
Yeah, so I was 13, and obviously I didn't make no social media pages or anything like that. Social media wasn't that big back then. So it was all just word of mouth, to my neighbors, family members, friends. And that's how it started. So at the age of 13, I started selling, and it just kind of like progressed little by little. People would be like, oh, where did you get your cake from? And people would obviously recommend me. So that's how it started. But yeah, at the age of 13.
My God. And now fast forward, you are only 25 and you've already built a recognizable brand for yourself. Did you ever imagine being here this young doing what you're doing?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's crazy. I sometimes it's insane how people, obviously social media has opened so many doors, and it's insane how people, just random strangers, just love you and support you and want to like see you succeed. And it's an amazing feeling. It's an amazing feeling to have all that support from people, and not just people, friends, family, and all of that. But no, it's just crazy. I just live day by day.
What age were you like, okay, maybe I should start posting pictures or videos of your baked goods online?
So that was around the age of 16, 17, around there. I decided to make a Facebook and an Instagram page. So when I first opened up the social media pages, I wasn't very like, oh, we're going to focus on social media and we're going to like post and make this whole thing, right? It was just more like, here's my little cakes, for people to watch and see what I would do. Because it was really, really hard for me to be able to gain my customers' trust. They're literally looking at a little 16-year-old and they're like, I'm not going to pay this motherfucker $300 to make my wedding cake.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's really hard. So I decided to do that. And with that, I also opened up a YouTube channel. So I started recording myself making these cakes and making all these like crazy little figurines and so on and so on. So people could actually see, oh, it is actually Felipe making the cakes, right?
Yeah.
So that's when I first started posting around 2016 or so.
And 2016 was the era for like social media prime time. That was YouTubers, influencer, King Kylie era. Like Instagram was poppin'.
Yes. And at that time, I wasn't so much into social media. I knew that like I would watch a lot of YouTubers and so on, but I never saw myself doing anything like that. I would just post them more for my customers to be like, oh, we
Mm-hmm.
can actually make them. So that's how it started in 2016. I would post pictures and just little videos. And little by little, people started seeing that, obviously it was me making the cakes and business started growing, more orders started coming in, and it was great.
My goodness. Now, this is like the hot tea. What made you decide to openly share your plastic surgery journey on an Instagram known for desserts?
It's crazy. So I did last year that I wanted people to know me a little bit more of myself,
The
right?
CEO, the real Felipe behind the brand.
Not just the baker, not just that person that makes your cakes. And, I wanted people to just kind of know me a little bit more on that personal level. I've been going live on TikTok for, approximately like 2 years. And I feel like we've built this like really good connection with my viewers. I call them my besties. So I feel like we've grown this like amazing connection and people, I go on live and I just chat about my life. Literally, I
Mm-hmm.
what I did on the weekend, what my plans are, so on and
My
so on.
gosh.
So people started, engaging with that and people love that because when I
Yeah.
first started going on live, girl, I was like the most like professional, like very like,
Yeah.
strict baker. And it was boring. I literally like
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, like I look so like it was boring. So I started just kind of like letting loose a little bit. I was like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? People love what I do. And if they love it, they'll fall in love with me as well. And hopefully, they like it all. And they did. I feel like, people love to see that raw, real honesty. And I feel like I was holding back because in my head, I'm like, ugh, I don't know if that's gonna look professional. I don't know if that's gonna look good. So I
Mm-hmm.
decided to trust the process, let it go, and just be myself. And me sharing my surgery process online came from that. I wanted people to obviously be like, this is Felipe. He's a real person. He is going through this as well. And let's see his journey. I thought it could also just open up doors, to other communities out there, to other people that could potentially be looking into this, especially for males, because this is not really seen a lot for males. And I mean, they got
No.
me here. They got me on this
Yep.
podcast.
Honey, what you opened up and started sharing everything, especially your plastic surgery journey, the views came in. And men don't wake up one day and casually decide, I'm going to get a 360 lipo, BBL, and gynecomastia surgery. There's always a story behind it. What initially made you start thinking about plastic surgery in the first place?
So I had actually thought about, I didn't exactly know what the right terminology was, right? I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
like the actual words of what a lipo 360 was. I was just like, I want to get surgery and I want to get skinny.
You're like, I just need to be snatched.
Yes. So I was looking into this in like 2022 around there. And it was just like a thought. I was just looking into it and I got a little bit more educated. And 2023 happened, 2024, and I was doing my thing. And 2025, I was like, you know what? Like I got a TikTok on my For You page.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, this is your sign to go get snatched and so on and so on. So I was like, literally, so I was like, all right, let me look into it, right? So I started looking into it and I started looking into different places and so on. And I was just like, you know what? Why not? Like, we're in a good place where I can, do it and just it's gonna obviously make me feel better. Of course, we had a lot of opinions from people. Oh my goodness,
Oh, we're going to
a
get
lot
into
of it.
that. We're going to get into that later for
Yes,
sure.
but no, like it was just something that I wanted to do was gonna make me feel better and make my like I was doing it for me, not for anybody else. And
Mm-hmm.
people obviously have opinions and people have their own ideas. But yeah, it was just something that I wanted to do.
A male, did you feel any hesitation or pressure before deciding to move forward with the surgery? Like, guys don't usually get this done, or I don't see a lot of guys get this done. Did that thought ever go through your head?
It slightly kinda just
Mm-hmm.
popped up, but I was like, I don't care." Like, I've always been that type of person. I've always been that type of person where the hate and all of it doesn't bother me. It generally doesn't, and I'm not, like, worried about it. If
Mm-hmm.
anything, I have fun with it 'cause I respond and I, like, fight back with the trolls and so. But, no, it slightly crossed my mind, but I was like, "No, it's okay, like, I'm gonna do it?"
Now, choosing surgery is one thing. Choosing the right surgeon is everything, honey. How many consultations did you go through before deciding, and how did you ultimately find your surgeon?
So I actually spoke to like 5 different doctors here in the Houston area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every consultation and everything, it was very professional. Everything was just pretty good. But with the surgeon that I decided to go through, he was, I don't know, he made me feel comfortable. He made me feel comfortable. It was, like, a little bit different from the other ones,
Mm-hmm.
and, I kinda expressed what I was, like, looking for, what I wanted, what the results were, and so on, and I felt, like, very heard and understood. Not that I didn't with the other ones, but with this one, it just felt a little bit better, and he kinda works with a lot of, like, the Latino, Hispanic community, so I
Mm-hmm.
kinda felt, it was just a little bit of a
Better
feeling that felt,
fit.
oh my goodness, yes. A feeling that made me feel better, yes.
Now, was it important to find someone who specializes in male procedures?
So I did ask, and a lot of the times, which is something that, you don't see often, and this is the reason
No.
why a lot of males don't like to share their process if they were to do something like that.
Yes.
So it was really, really hard for me to find any plastic surgeon with any male type of work
Mm-hmm.
or anything like to go through. And when I was going through there was a couple of surgeons that did offer, they had the pictures and the
The
before and the
before and
after.
the afters.
Yeah, and then with this one, they had, like, a couple of videos and everything that they showed me, and they were like, "Look, these are some of the clients that agreed that it's okay." Obviously, they don't show their face,
Mm-hmm.
but, the body and everything. So, overall, it was just how I felt, and they had, like, experience with that, so I just decided to go through with them.
Yeah. So many men right now they feel still like, oh, I don't want to share this. I don't want people to know, which it's like, why not? Like, we're in 2026. Everyone is getting something done. Men are getting Botox, they're getting fillers, they're getting facials. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think as the years come, I think we're going to see more and more males showing, like, get ready with me to go get surgery, get ready with me to go get lipo. Like, we see thousands of girls do it, but I
For
think
sure.
we're going to have more and more men, and it's going to be phenomenal.
Hopefully, because we definitely need to, just have that out there. And I feel like a lot of people out there feel like, oh, this is just for like the gays and the girlies, the so on and so
No,
on. But trust me, when I went to my surgeon, he told me that so many guys start getting procedures done, they just don't share them.
no. And when I tell you, working in Beverly Hills, we get everybody, honey, from everywhere. And we had a lot of male patients, a lot of rhinoplasties, right? Nose jobs. We had a lot of male who lost tremendous amounts of weight. They were bariatric patients and needed skin removal. So they got 360 lifts, they got arm lifts, they got thigh lifts. We had men come in because they were straight models or straight surfers and they wanted lipo etching of their abdomen. Like, you don't need to be gay. Like, there are so many doctors, surgeons, lawyers, dads, like, getting surgery done for different reasons. So, yeah, just because it's not shown on social media doesn't mean it's not happening.
Exactly.
This wasn't a one procedure decision. You had a full transformation. Can you walk us through all the procedures that you had and why you chose each one?
Yes. So when I went to my consultation, I initially went in for gynecomastia. And gynecomastia, for those that don't know, it's pretty much when a male has extra fat, right, in their boobie
Mm-hmm.
area, and it causes that man titties, right?
Yep.
And when I went to my doctor, I didn't have a severe case. There obviously is different types of gynecomastia in the sense of like how extreme it is. For some guys, it is a little bit bigger, some others is not.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went, that's initially what I had gone, right? I had gone for gynecomastia. I was like, let's try to see if we can get a flatter chest, and just kind of like work it out a little bit just to make sure that, it's more of a
Yeah.
male looking body.
Sorry to cut you off. A lot of people don't know that, like, gynecomastia fat, it's not fat. We say it's fat, it's not. It's often this like firm granular tissue, and it does not go away with diets or workout, no matter what you do. So like, you have to get pretty much like lipo plus the gland removal during the surgery.
Yes. So whenever I went for that, the doctor was like, okay, well, we can also look into, if you want anything for your body done, such as lipo or so on. And then after that, I kind of considered it a little bit. I was like, okay, it wouldn't be the worst idea. If I'm already getting gyno, might as well, fix everything.
Get a little lipo, honey.
So I, kind of thought about it and I was like, okay. So with that lipo, he was like, we'll be able to like just contour your body. I did tell him because he was like, we can, obviously do some ab sketching in there, try to put some little abs or so on. And I was very clear. I was like, I don't necessarily want something that looks crazy dramatic.
Yeah.
But just something more natural, just, natural, a little bit slim, nothing too
Hmm.
crazy. And I did have love handles, which is something that I hated. Oh my goodness.
As we all do.
Oh, it was the worst. Like I was such an insecurity in me, like to put on a shirt or something, and like love handles were there, and it was something that I was like, okay, we have to remove this
Hmm.
like now. So we kind of went over that in the consultation, and then he was like, well, Felipe, we're gonna have all this fat removal. What do we do with it, right? So I was like, well, might as well get a little BBL. So I was literally the flattest of the flattest of the flattest motherfucker out there. I
Stop.
had a pancake, worse than a pancake,
Not
literally.
a baker with a pancake booty. No mames.
Literally, so I was like, you know what? Let's add a little plump in there, a little something. Obviously, I didn't want nothing dramatic. I didn't want nothing crazy. I didn't want nothing that
You want
gave
it to
like
be enhanced.
exactly, yes.
Hmm.
So and he understood everything. I was like, I don't want that crazy hourglass curve, just
Yeah.
tail, little plump back there, flat chest. He understood. I felt so understood, and that's what I got done.
I love it. Oh my gosh. And how many weeks post-op are you right now?
I am going on 7 weeks. I'm going on 7 weeks.
I love that you said your surgeon understood it. And that's so important because when you want just like an enhanced look, you don't want this cartoonish shape. Like it's so important that the surgeon understands what you want. How do you like your results?
As of right now, I'm loving them. It's amazing. Obviously, I'm still swollen. There's moments where I get really, really swollen. And, they say it's part of the process. It's part of your healing process. It's
Hmm.
gonna, as long as we have our fajas, our boards, all of that. But overall, I love it. I feel like, I will say, whenever I freshly got out of surgery, right?
Uh-huh.
The next day when I had gotten my massage, I looked at my butt for the first time. Oh my God. It was humongous.
Yes.
I was like, what is this? I was honestly a little bit mad because I was like, he did not understand what I said.
Oh my
But
God.
it was obviously swollen. The doctor explained that we have to, they had to add a little extra fat in there
Yes.
'cause the fat obviously dies off and not all the fat survives. So as the week started going, it started going down in size. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, perfect. Right now,
Yes.
it's at a good size, good everything. I like it. And yeah, no, overall, I really love the results. But yeah, just we're waiting until, that 3 month mark and so on to see more of that closer final body. But as of right now, I love it.
How many times a week are you getting your lymphatic massages?
So I had a total of 25 massages. In the beginning, I had gotten my massages every day whenever I had my drains. And so the first couple of massages were a little painful, not gonna lie. They were a little painful, a little discomfort. And then as the massages went on, it started feeling better day by day. But
Yes.
yeah, I had a total of 25 massages. As of right now, I am gonna try to get like one every week or so, every other week, just to keep up with it,
Yes.
obviously. But yeah, as of right now, I've gotten 25 massages.
That's so good. The more massages you can get, the better. It just helps the speed up the process and get rid of all that fluid and inflammation. The cost of your procedures, lipo BBL can get expensive. Was it more or less than you thought going in?
It was a little bit more than what I thought. You see all these like specials from different doctors, right? We got this and this going on for this price. And it kind of gets your attention, right?
Yes.
And it was a little bit more than what I thought, what I expected, but it wasn't something that I was like, whoa, Because
Yeah.
obviously I know it's expensive, but yeah, it was just a little bit over what I thought.
Do you think it was more, or do you know if it was more because of the gynecomastia than it was if it was a regular lipo BBL, would it have been cheaper?
So they kind of broke down all the prices for me. Whenever I
Okay.
went, they're like, this is how much gynecomastia is, this is how much lipo is, and BBL. So all combined, they did have some discounts, some like special offers going on at that time. And that's another thing that I love, they're always having promotions and specials and stuff for people
Hmm.
to, it's a little help. It's a little help for people. Overall, it was kind of like divided into that three section mark. And
Would you say you don't have to give us a definite number if you don't want, but was it around the $15,000 or was it around the 20,000?
no, it's 15,000. The total of everything, and I don't care. I'm on open book. The total for everything was 15,500.
That's what I figured. I was like, it's probably in the 15,000, especially in Houston, Texas. That's what I figured it was going for. Now,
Yes.
did you know that you wanted to record everything and post it? And did you tell your surgeon, like, hey, I'm going to share my journey. Do you want to do a collab or a partnership?
Yes. So in the beginning, I kind of thought about it, but I
Hmm.
didn't want to go in there and seem like, let me get this for free or let me get a discount.
No, let me tell you, the last girl I just interviewed, she went to each surgeon's office and she says, look, I have this audience and I'm going to share this. So do you want to share with me? You want to do this and give me a discount? She was
There you
like
go.
straightforward. I was like, damn.
Hey, period. But I felt a little bit weird, going to surgeons and asking them that. So in the beginning, I kind of thought about it. And as you know, I started going through the process of like, okay, we're going to actually do this. I talked to my surgeon and I was like, hey, so I do social media, I do
Mm-hmm.
this, I want to record, I want to film, I want to share my entire journey. Obviously, that's going to be amazing promotion for you, to be able to
Yeah.
get your name out there and so on. And one thing that I love about him, he is always like, he's like down to earth. Like he will literally be down for anything. So he was like, yeah, Felipe, let's do it. We got this and so on. So we kind of did have like a little partnership there where he
Good.
did kind of give a discount, which was amazing.
Yes.
But yes, we kind of did have this partnership, and it was just more like sharing my journey, obviously tagging. And I did tell him, and I made it very clear. I was like, look, we're gonna do this little collaboration and so on and so on, but I'm gonna share my true, genuine experience.
Yes.
I don't want it to be like, for example, if something happened or whatever, and behind cameras I'm gonna be over here struggling, and then for filming I'm gonna be like, great, you know?
Yeah, because we have enough girls on social media just showing the glow up and how snatched they look. Like a lot of women and guys are really rarely showing the hard parts. Nowadays, we're starting to get more influencers like you that are showing step by step, like this is what plastic surgery actually entails.
Yes. So I told him that, and he was like, no, Felipe, I understand. Like, definitely, if any, like, just be yourself, be true to, your audience and so on, because
Hmm.
that's one thing that I've always done. And I feel like that is a big reason of why, it has gotten me to where I am now. Just being honest, being transparent, being who I am, and just showing the good, but also showing the bad, showing the real. And he agreed, and we just created this amazing friendship bond relationship. And he's an amazing, amazing surgeon. So yeah, but no, yeah, we did have this amazing little collaboration that we were able to do.
During those first few weeks of recovery, what surprised you the most? Like something that you weren't prepared for at all?
Oh my goodness. The feeling of the, like, skin, how it felt afterwards.
Yeah.
A lot of people, that's the one thing that I was, like, mainly scared for was, like, the pain itself, right?
Hmm.
I heard crazy stories of, like, "Oh my god, it felt horrible. It feels like my skin is burning. It feels like, I got ran over," so on, and I never experienced any of that, ever. I didn't feel anything whatsoever. I didn't feel no burning anything. I didn't nothing at all. Nothing. The only thing that I would feel here and there was when I would shower and I would take off my faja. It was like this weird sensation of like my skin melting kind of thing. And
My
it felt
goodness.
weird, but obviously like, I don't, it's just a weird feeling. That's the
It
thing
could
that
be
kind of,
your nerves waking up after surgery and just being so compressed with the faja. Like there's a lot of different sensations you'll feel over the first couple weeks with the nerves waking up.
yeah, no, that was something that definitely was a little weird for me. But overall, yeah, I'm happy that I didn't feel nothing crazy overall in pain.
And how did your faja, all the swelling and like sitting restrictions affect your everyday life afterwards? Were you like,
So
this is a damn pain? Or were you like going through the process easy peasy?
So honestly, I had really great support. I had really great support from my mans and from my mom. They
Good.
helped me out a lot. And overall the process of like putting on the faja, taking off the faja, it wasn't necessarily painful or it wasn't uncomfortable. It was just something that was like, ugh, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Like I guess I'm gonna go through this, right? But overall, I feel like my recovery has been pretty good. It has been pretty stable in the sense of like nothing crazy has happened. Obviously, I did have a small little complication with
Mm-hmm.
removed, which we'll get into that right now. But overall, I feel like I had a really good support system, and I really don't know what I would have done if I didn't have them. Kind of just like mentally prepared myself. I mentally prepared myself that I was gonna be just stuck at home, just watching shows, doing nothing. And the first couple of days, it was a little bit hard for me. I'm the type of person I'm used to always doing something 24/7.
Yep.
If I'm not working making cakes, I'm making cookies. If I'm not making cookies, I'm creating content. If I'm not doing
Content.
content, I'm creating. And it's just a lot. Like I'm always on the go 24/7, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, knowing that everything was going to stop and I was just gonna be there, I was like, ugh, you know? So the first
Stressed.
couple of days, yes, the first couple of days was a little bit hard, but I kind of got used to it. I kind of just relaxed and
It kind of
just
forces you to not do nothing.
literally, yeah. So the first couple of days, I just took it very easy, doing my small little walks, drinking a lot of water, eating a lot of protein, all of that. I was focusing more on that. But yeah, I kind of forgot about the business. I forgot a little bit about the social media for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, overall, I feel like the experience and the support system that I had was great.
Did your surgeon have you lay on your chest even though you still had the gynecomastia, the incisions on your pecs?
So, no, he did not have me lay down because obviously we don't want that pressure.
Yep.
So it was a little bit uncomfortable trying to sleep
You were
because
in
I
that
kept feeling
floating
sick.
beach chair.
Well, I actually bought a recliner for this
Okay.
surgery. So I had a
Okay.
recliner chair and I created this like little nest kind of thing on my chair with my BBL pillow. So that way like my butt
Yes.
was hanging, but I wasn't applying pressure on it. So that kind of helped a lot. And surprisingly, I slept pretty good.
Good. Yeah, that's a thing. When anyone gets any incisions on the front, whether it's a tummy tuck or in the breast area, and you get a BBL, your incisions take priority over your BBL. And
Yes.
even though for Felipe it might have been smaller incisions, those take priority over fat grafting. So your surgeon will say, no, you need to sleep on your back, but try to make a hole so your butt can float. So it's not directly putting pressure on the mattress or in his case, the recliner. Now that's hard to do because when we're sitting down, all our weight's going to go down. So your bottom's going to touch the chair or the bed a little bit, not the end of the world. But usually we'll have you bought a recliner. So that's amazing. Everyone else, if you don't have a recliner, you're in a bed with lots of pillows behind your lower back, behind your knees, on the side of your hips, and just trying to float your booty as much as possible.
Yeah, and honestly, I recommend if you're in that position where you're able to get a recliner, it was like the best thing for me. And I had gotten an electric one, so it was even better.
Yes.
And click a little button, it just kind of lays you down a little, slowly. Because I was going to get the other type of recliners, but some of them you open the little thing on the side and it just, it
Whew.
goes harsh. So I didn't want none of that. So I got an electric recliner and it was honestly the best. A bunch of little blankets, a bunch of pillows, just
Mm-hmm.
trying to, not apply so much pressure on the butt area. And like you said, even though the butt obviously is going to touch a little bit, it's not necessarily my entire weight on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, that kinda helped a lot, but yeah, if you're able to, I recommend getting a recliner.
Now, complications happen, but not a lot of people like to talk about them. You experienced a post op infection after your drains were removed. Walk us through what happened and how you handled it.
So that was something that was a little bit stressful because obviously I wasn't expecting anything like
Of
that.
course.
So I had gotten my drains removed after that 2-week mark, and my front drain normal, it was good, everything was fine. The back drain, when it got removed, everything felt great. I was like, everything's good. Obviously, that
Mhm.
little incision is still open, or so they put little gauze on it and everything. But at the end of the day, it's still an open wound, and
Yes.
that happened on New Year's Eve. So I got my
Ooh.
drains removed on New Year's Eve. Everything was fine. Went to my family. We did our little family functions. I felt great. New Year's Day, I wake up and everything is still fine, everything is good. And it wasn't until that nighttime when I showered, I started feeling a little bit of pressure on my lower back. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just the incision, maybe like a little bit of water, a little stinging. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna like worry about it too much. It'll be
Hmm.
fine. I washed the area with that, antiseptic soap.
The
And I
HIPAA
was like,
cleanse.
yeah, the HIPAA cleanse. So I was like, it'll be okay. After I was, like, showering and everything, I started, like, feeling this shortness of breath and, like, I couldn't necessarily breathe, like, I was gonna faint, right? And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, like, I what's going on?" My man was there, and I was like, "Hey, like, bring me some water, like, bring me some alcohol, let me smell some alcohol," like, just trying to feel a little bit better. Finally calmed down, and I tried to put my faja back on. So I put it on, and it like, the pain at the bottom, it was, like, stinging, right? So
Ooh.
that's when I was like, "Ugh, what is this?" kinda thing, like, why am I feeling
Something
this?
all of a sudden you're having pain back there and you're already a week or whatever post op.
Literally, so I was 2 weeks post-op, and I'm already, like, suddenly having this, like, little
That's a
stinging
sign.
pain.
That's a red flag.
Yeah, so I'm like, "What is going on?" So I put on my faja, and I went to sleep. I tried to go to sleep, right? So that morning, I wake up, and I am in fever. I am in 102 point something fever. It
Felipe,
is horrible. I was, like, shivering, but sweating, and I was, like, shaking. It was bad. It was
how
really, really bad.
quickly that progressed.
It was insane. And then in the morning, I wake up and I'm telling my man, I was like, I don't feel good. Like, this is not good. And I immediately call my surgeon and I'm like, hey, this and this and this and this is going on. He was like, take a light shower, not warm, hot water. Like, try to take a shower with the coldest you could take it.
Mhm.
And he was like, you're gonna do this and this and this. And if it gets really bad, like if you're not feeling okay, emergency room. He was like, you don't even think about it twice. Just go to the emergency room because it could be something inside of you that
An
is
internal
not.
infection.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. I took a shower, I had my breakfast and so on, and it
Did you
calmed
take
down.
Tylenol or anything for your fever?
No, so he actually he told me to drink ibuprofen, which was the ones that they give you, that medicine that they give you right
Mm-hmm.
after your surgery, those
Yes.
strong medication. So he told me to drink that, and I took that pill, and I obviously ate a pretty good breakfast, had my little shower, and it calmed me down a little bit. So throughout the day, I was doing a little bit better, but I still had a small little fever.
Did
It wasn't
you
nothing crazy.
did you have your man like take a photo of that area to kind of see what was happening, or you couldn't see it at all?
Well, this is the thing. I didn't take off when I showered and so on, I took my faja, but I don't know why in my head I never thought of like, oh, let me look at the area, right?
Felipe,
So I just hopped in I know. I
that's
got in the shower.
101. You always look at your incisions.
I know, and it's just that morning. In my head, I was just like, just get in the shower. Let's try to bring this fever down. That was like my main thing in my head, right? So
Hmm.
I get out the shower and everything, eat my breakfast, and obviously I had my faja back on. And that later on that day, I was like, you know what? Let me see what's going on. It finally clicked to me, and I was like, let me see what's going on. I take off the faja, and I have this like big red patch in my lower back, and it was like super, super hot to the touch, really tender to the touch. And I was like, this is not normal.
Infection.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not normal for this to happen from one day, from one night to the other. It's not normal. So I go into to the doctor's
Emergency
office.
room?
I didn't go to the emergency room. I went to
Oh,
my doctor. I went to my doctor, and my doctor was like, okay, come in, like, let's inspect this, let's see what's going on. And in the beginning, they had told me that they thought it was going to be like a seroma or something like
seroma. Mm-hmm.
where fluid builds
Builds
up.
up. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I was like, but I don't, because I searched up what seroma was, and
You
a
weren't
seroma
giving
is
the
like,
symptoms of it.
mm.
No,
So
you're
then he
giving
was
the
like,
signs of
okay.
infection, honey.
Yeah. So he was like, come in, let's look at it, let's take a look. And when I went, he was like, oh, it looks like it's like some type of like cellulitis, right? It's
Uh,
like cellulitis with like seroma kind of thing. So he prescribed me some medication. He was like, "You're gonna take these antibiotics for the next days or so until you finish." And I did, and immediately, literally, I took my medicine. The next day, I started feeling way better. Redness was
good.
still there; it was still a little bit hot, but I felt so much better. And as the days went by, um, it was just slowly like leaving my body.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. It was still a little bit red, but it wasn't hot anymore, right? And
Okay.
then days started going by, and the redness started going down and down, and the circle started getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Good.
And eventually, when they would massage that area, my massage lady, she was like, "There's like a little fluid in there, right?"
Yeah.
So, my surgeon, he did have to manually drain me 2
Mm-hmm.
times, and I will say they put that anesthesia there, and that kind of burned a little bit.
Yeah, because you were 2 weeks post-op, and after they took out that drain, that little incision was already closing up. So you acquired an infection right after the drain was pulled, and guess what? That fluid couldn't escape. And that infection was still there. So it built under your skin. And so that's why he had to open it up and let all that your body needs to get rid of it.
Yeah, so he just put some anesthesia in there and just went in with the syringe, drained it out. And the first one, it was a little bit of like, a little bloody,
Of
a
course.
little dry blood and so on. So that was the first time he had to do it. And then the second time he was able to drain a lot more. And finally that little hole with massages and so on, it went away. That little bump
Good.
that I and now I'm pretty good. But it was
Good.
something that did scare me for the first couple like 2, 3 days when it
And
was
that's
yeah.
something that can go to like not good to bad to ugly really quick. And wherever, if you're 2 weeks post op and all of a sudden you're having pain that wasn't there and you're having tenderness and you're having a fever, 100% signs of infection, you need to go to your surgeon's office right away. I don't want anyone to be like, well, it's just a little bit, like, let me just try to wait it out. Trust me, you waiting it out, your body, no. Nothing's going to get happen. You need to go get things drained. You need to go get antibiotics. You need to go get the proper treatment. The longer you wait, the worse the outcome. And you spent all this money to get this surgery and you don't want an ugly incision or you don't want necrosis or extra scar tissue around that area. So the sooner you can go get anything fixed or looked at, the better.
Yeah, and I actually asked them, I was like, why or like how did this happen? Like how did it just all of a sudden become infected? And he literally explained it could have been anything.
Anything.
Like with me washing my faja and maybe
Yep.
having the smallest little piece of hair or anything that could have gone through that incision like into my body. He explained pretty much that your body like encapsulates that and your body's like,
Mm-hmm.
this is not supposed to be here. What do we do with this? And your body kind of goes into this panic mode. He was like, it could literally be anything. A little hair,
Yep.
anything whatsoever. Even when you're showering, your
Even if
own
your hands
bowl.
were dirty and you touched the area or your faja was dirty, any little thing, it's an open incision. Anything can get in and things can happen that fast. So, Felipe, I'm so glad that you handled it and you took your antibiotics, you finished your course and it healed up. And that could have went south really quick.
Yeah, no, it was definitely something that had me a little bit stressed, but thank God I was able to like just jump on it and
Mm-hmm.
like tackle it down and just figure out what was going on. And once again, I felt like I had like a lot of support, not just from my
Very
family, but
good.
from the surgeon and his whole team. I literally had like nurses calling me and texting me like, "How are you? Are you okay? Are you feeling good?
Good.
Any type of like fever?" It's just really nice to feel, like, okay, they're actually worried and they're taking care. And
Yeah.
I love that. But no, yes, thank God now everything is good, everything is fine. Incisions are obviously closed and so on. So yeah, I'm very happy.
Beautiful. Now, plastic surgery doesn't just change bodies, it changes how people show up in the world. How has surgery impacted your confidence, both personally and professionally?
So honestly, my confidence, it's been great. I feel like now, obviously, surgery is not just, oh, you're gonna go get snatched and that's it. Some
Mm-hmm.
people, obviously, they've had any insecurities with their body, whether it's like with certain clothes or like for me, an example, if I was to go to the beach, I didn't feel as comfortable taking
Mm-hmm.
on my shirt. So now it's definitely something that's going to make me feel better, that's going to make me be more confident in myself with the clothes that I wear and certain things that I put on, even if we're at the beach or so on. So that's definitely something that I'm like very excited for. And it's definitely gonna make me feel a lot better.
And are you doing anything different? It's the new year. You just got your surgery. Are you doing any lifestyle modifications, trying to get some more steps in, eating a little bit healthier, going to some workout classes?
Yes, so I have been working since my surgeon cleared me to get back into work and do light exercises and so on. I've been walking and doing like very light exercise, which is amazing. I used to do that, but not so often. And
Hmm.
what helps me in my head is like, bitch, you paid all this money and you went through all of this to like not keep up with it.
Yep.
So
Maintenance,
I
maintenance.
Yeah. So I've been exercising in that aspect. And as far as like food itself, I've tried I've cut out all sugars, all of that stuff out. And it's pretty hard sometimes, obviously working with what I work, cakes and
Was going to
cookies and
say,
so
you got to
on.
try your creations and all the
Yes. So
cookies and everything,
so
but in
now
moderation.
Yes, now that's what I do. Now it's like, okay, we have to just try to make sure it's good. But what I would do before, and especially if we had like an extra cookie or so, I'm like, I'm gonna eat this cookie tomorrow with my little breakfast, a little coffee, a little
Yes.
something. So that's what I would do back then.
That would
Now,
be me. I'm all one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me.
literally. So now I'm just, just trying to eat better. I'm not necessarily on this like super crazy strict diet.
Hmm.
I'm also trying to be realistic with myself. I know that I'm not
Good.
gonna go into like crazy diet of like all of a sudden 24/7 changing everything, but I am trying to obviously eat better, a lot of protein and drinking a lot of water. I'm the type of person that wouldn't drink that much water.
Wow.
And now it's like I'm trying to literally drink water every single time that I'm like, okay, let me drink water, let me drink water, let me drink water. And it generally has helped a lot. I feel
I
like
was
my
going to say,
skin,
do you notice a difference with more water?
yes, I don't know, I just feel like my skin is better. I feel, I feel like more energized, more awake.
Yes.
I don't know, it's crazy what water literally does, but I feel like back then I wasn't drinking enough or anything at all, and now with the amount of water that I'm drinking, I love that. And obviously, if I'm eating a meal or so, I'd rather go with water than a little juice or something, right?
Hmm.
So I try to just drink a lot of water, trying to eat a little bit better, and definitely exercising.
Is over here preaching to the choir, water, water, water. But at least they are hearing it now from someone who went from drinking no water to drinking water, and it made such a difference.
Yes.
Did you think going into surgery that you needed to do lifestyle modifications after surgery, or were you like, oh, I'm gonna get snatched up, I'll cut back a little bit? But did you know, like, actually, it's a little bit more work after surgery?
So whenever I scheduled my surgery, it was around like June, August, around there. My surgery was initially scheduled for November, but something with their schedule and the anesthesiologist, it didn't match up. So we had
Hmm.
to move it to December. So I had those like months to kind of like mentally prepare myself, like, okay, Felipe, we're going through this entire process. We're going to have to make a little change in your lifestyle and what you do and how you're
Yeah.
eating. So that way it wasn't such a shock to my body where randomly I'm eating all this like junk food and
A
crazy stuff.
sudden, you're going.
all of a sudden going to like super clean and healthy. So I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't like all of a sudden I took everything off, but
Yeah.
I gradually kind of got my body used to like, okay, let's start drinking a little bit more water. Let's start doing this. Let's eat
And
better.
that's the best way to do it. Gradual, small changes. Because realistically, if we try to cut cold turkey and do a whole lifestyle change, in like 4 weeks, we're going to be over it and we're going to go fall back to our bad habits. But if you do it little by little, you can be consistent for longer.
And it worked. It generally worked. I feel like I was already eating a little bit healthier before. And I don't know if that has anything to do with my recovery as to like why maybe I didn't feel any pain, or I generally still don't understand that. But
No, eating healthier, getting more steps in, drinking your water helps you recover so much better. Your body has the proper nutrients to heal. And it helps everything. It makes you feel better. It makes you look better. Overall wellness.
yeah, no, and I feel like I had to because I know myself. If I didn't necessarily start before, it
You
wasn't gonna
wouldn't
work.
have started after.
Literally. No, it was something that I had to like just mentally tell myself and mentally prepare myself where it's like, okay, we're doing this and we're gonna do this the right way, and we're not gonna bullshit around. We're
Nope.
gonna focus, and it's been working, and you know, I feel so much better. Like I said, eating better and just drinking a lot more water makes me feel more energized, more, I don't know, it's just like this different feeling, and I like it.
Have you been preaching this to your Instagram followers and all your besties on TikTok? Because this is something so many women and men need to hear. Because they think I'm going to go get my lipo BBL and I don't got to do shit else and I'm going to go get snatched. And it's like reality check.
Exactly. No, yeah, especially when I was going on live and everything, we had a bunch of viewers on there asking like, "Oh my God, are you on a diet now? Are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do that?" And I'm literally sharing my entire experience of like, "No, you have to do this. This is what I
Good.
did. This is what worked for me." And but it's definitely something that I'm always like, if you're thinking of doing, I'm not influencing anybody. I'm not telling you to go get a surgery. But if it's something that you're wanting to do and it's something that you're looking into, it's
You got
definitely
to make
important.
these changes.
You have to make those changes because yeah, you'll look snatched for a month or 2 or 3, but then all that's gonna be gone and it's for nothing. So you
Yes.
spent all this money, you went through all this extra money of massages and fajas and everything extra that you have to spend on, and you're eating like shit. It's not going to work out for you.
The math is
And
not mathing, sis. Like, you got to do the work or else you're wasting your time and your money.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, it's something that I definitely do mention and always tell. But of course, everybody has their own experience, and at the end of the day, everybody does whatever they want.
Yep. And everyone has their own opinions, which I guess they have the right to. But some opinions are a little basura, as I will say. And, men getting surgery still comes with assumptions and backlash. How was posting on social media and what were the negative reactions you were getting? And who was even giving these negative reactions?
So it was crazy. I've always like, for some reason, Facebook is where people are the meanest.
The viejos who don't understand like the plastic surgery era. That's what it is on Facebook.
It's crazy. So on Facebook, I would get a bunch of comments from the tias and tios, the older generation, and they would be like, "What is he doing? A BBO? You're a man. What the fuck?" Some people would be, "Are you transgender? Are you changing?" It's crazy, right?
Educated.
Yes, and it was a lot more from the older crowd. Now on Instagram, it's around the same stuff, but it was males, females, some females talking about why are you trying to be like us and so on and so on. I'm like, baby girl, I'm not trying to be you. It was crazy, yeah. And some other people, obviously, there's a difference between trying to get educated and genuinely asking like, oh, you're getting this procedure as a man. How come? What would you like to do? And I love that. I'd love to educate people or just tell them like, hey, this is the reason why I'm doing it. But obviously, then you have the other type of people where they're just doing it to hate and they're just doing it because maybe either you're jealous or either, I don't know, but
jealous.
It's just something
Simple as that.
It's something that, it's crazy. I read the comments and obviously like I respond to some here and there and I have fun with it. At the end of the day, I have fun with it. And
You're
let me
all
tell
clapping
you,
back.
yes. And some people get mad because I respond. I'm like, baby girl, you came to my video, my social media, you commented something ugly on my post and you're getting mad because I'm responding to you. Girl,
Make it
we're
make
not gonna do
sense.
that. Yeah, but no, honestly, I just have fun with it. It's not something that generally bothers me or anything.
Do you delete the comments or do you leave
I do
them?
not. I leave them there.
No, I'm all about deleting. You're not about to bring your negative energy onto my page and have it sit there. Absolutely not. You're
Let
gone.
me tell you,
Goodbye.
I leave them there. I leave them there because one, baby girl, that's engagement. And two, my besties, have my back. They will literally be in the comments fighting back and forth and so on and so on and so on. And at the end of the day, hey, it's getting us the views and the likes and the comments that we want and we need. So it's a win-win for me, you know? But no, yeah, we leave them there and I don't really care about them.
Curious, have you gotten a lot of DMs from other males, like curious about the surgery or asking questions?
Yeah, so I actually did get a couple. I wouldn't say it was like a crazy amount, but I did get a surprisingly a pretty good amount of
Hmm.
guys like, "Oh, I've been trying to get this procedure done. How was your
Yeah.
experience?" Or, certain guys like, "Where did you go? What was the cost of
Hmm.
it? Did you feel any type of pain? Or, do you recommend your doctor?" And so on. And a bunch of those questions, I answer them on my videos and I just obviously everything with privacy. I'm not gonna expose somebody,
Of
right?
course.
But yeah, I try to answer as many questions, especially on my lives. Sometimes I have a lot of guys on my lives where they ask questions about just my process, my journey. And I'm an open book. I share everything. And same with the ladies, the girls, they're curious. I feel like with the girls, it's more of a curiosity because they're like, wow, like he got something done. Like,
Yeah.
how did it go? What did it feel like? What did you do? Like, there's definitely some girls out there that are interested and they ask for, certain information or so on from my journey. And, I'm an open book. I share everything that happened.
I think as your video goes more and more viral and it gets out there for the next year, you're going to get questions from males, just, probably the same questions, but it's going to hit a lot more people and you're going to continue to get questions just because this is an unheard of topic. And I think it's great doing what you're doing. And what advice would you give someone, especially men, considering surgery?
Honestly, I would say if it's something that you're genuinely wanting to do, and if it's something that you've thought about and it's going to make you feel better, not for anybody else, but for
Hmm.
yourself. If it's going to make you feel better and it's something that's going to help your self-esteem, your confidence, and all of that, go for it. If you're in the position financially and all of that where you're able to do something like that, go for it. If it makes you happy, do what you want to do. And who cares what anybody else says? At the end of the day, people are always going to be talking. People are always going to be jealous, whether, you're being successful and looking good. Baby girl, I want people to talk about me if I'm being successful and looking good,
Yes.
rather than talking about me if I'm not successful, right?
Uh-huh.
So, just do that surgery, whether you're a guy, a girl. If you want to do it, go for it.
And if you can go back and tell yourself one thing before you got your procedure done, what would it be?
I would probably tell myself that everything is going to be okay, that everything is going to be fine, and that you're going to love your results and it's going to make you feel better and just look better.
Hmm.
Because, being honest, I was really, really scared. I've never had a surgery in my life ever.
Yeah.
And this was my first ever surgery. And I've never gone under anesthesia. And you hear all these crazy stories.
It's
So it's
terrifying.
definitely something that's very scary. Literally, the night before my surgery, I just busted out into tears. I was like,
Oh,
what if something happened? What if so on? It's just I feel like it's
it's
natural,
part of the
normal.
process. Everyone,
Yeah.
yes.
And it was just something that I was like, oh my God, like everything's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be fine. So yeah, that's something that I would tell myself that everything will be okay, everything will be fine, and you're gonna love the way you're gonna look.
Getting this surgery, everyone's like, oh, it's because of vanity and people are vain. But honestly, sometimes when you get plastic surgery, it leads to so many healthier lifestyle modifications. You're working out more, you're eating better, you're drinking more water, you're caring about your health more. People who have children, they're like, okay, I'm feeling better, I'm looking better. They take better care of their family and their children. They do better in their business. So sometimes plastic surgery isn't just about looking good, it leads to so many other transformations. And what is next for Felipe's Creations this year? It's a new year. What goals do you have? You're going to be snatched and baking, honey.
Yes, we're about to launch our OnlyFans with a naked bakery. No, just kidding.
That would bring in some serious dough.
I was telling my man, I was like, boo, I'm gonna go ahead and show up shirtless and with a little apron,
Yeah.
a little cake or something. But no, honestly, I feel like for this year, it just like you said it yourself, you feel good, you look good, you feel good, and it makes you feel better. And let me tell you, when we got back into the business, I was like so refreshed. I was
Yes.
so with so many ideas and just like I was so ready to get back into it, right? Like
Uh-huh.
back then I would be like, oh my God, like I need a break. Now I was like literally
Motivated.
I want to start working. So I have so many ideas as far as what we do. We obviously make cakes. So we're trying to, expand that, just get out there. And with our cookies, we do have a variety of cookies. I'm going to have to send you some so you can try them.
Yes.
But with our cookies, we are trying to bring in just like a bigger rebrand, just different flavors, sticking with the little trends, and offering, just better quality and so on. Before we used to have our cookies, now we're making them bigger and they're still the same price and they have more toppings and so on. So we're definitely just trying to expand more. We're hopefully this year able to get into some like bakeries and restaurants where we can have our own products in there
Mm-hmm.
just trying to get out
Growth
there more.
2026, growing your
Yes.
business, growing everything. I love that. Felipe, thank you for coming on the podcast and sharing your story so openly.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. It's an honor for me to be here, and thank you so much for having me.
And conversations like this are exactly why All Things Plastics exists. We want to provide education, honesty, and also empowerment. If you're listening to this and considering surgery, remember your journey is yours. There's no right age, gender, or reason, only informed decisions and proper care. So make sure to follow Felipe's Creations for all things desserts, hustle, creativity. And as always, if you love this episode, please leave a review, share it with a friend, and come back next week for more real conversations around plastic surgery and recovery. See you next Thursday. Bye, doll.